Greetings, Patrick here. Eight questions with, and welcome to the show. It is a really rainy Wednesday here in southeastern Michigan. It's supposed to be raining today and tomorrow as well, but at least we're not getting the snow. It's actually not that bad over here. It's about 43, 44 degrees, so it's a little chilly. Definitely chicken soup if you have it, or tomato soup. A tomato soup day, that's for sure. And today's show, it's one of two. We are here today at 3 o'clock with our good friend Michael, also known as Heroic Waffles. He'll be here, and we'll be talking about films and baseball and life in general. And yeah, because we got a lot of catching up to do because he went poof for a while. So we'll see what's been going on with him, and his channel has bounced back really nicely. I actually was doing this, reintroduce everybody to Waffles, but it already seems like already everybody has reintroduced themselves. So it'll be fun. It'll be a fun show. Let's see. Yeah, it's raining here too, Anthony. And you're gonna go to the library tomorrow. Yeah, try to go when it's not raining. That's for sure. Um, as you know, Michael, also known as Waffles, he has been a tuber for quite a while. He is very much a horror tuber, like the majority of us, and he enjoys. He's got some great haul videos, and like I mentioned before, he is one of the masters of the deal. He finds some incredible deals uh, for films. Now, I'm a bargain baller. That's what I am. I'm a budget baller. So I go look for things that are really down in the weeds. But a lot of the collectors like to collect the big boutique stuff, and that stuff can get really expensive. Uh, I got I think I ended up getting 25 titles yesterday for $6. Well, a boutique collector, they can go out there and spend $40 on just one disc. That's like 4 or 5 trips to the library for me. Um, but Michael, what he has a skill. He can find that same boutique item that you're looking for, and instead of paying $40 like most people do, he could probably find it for you for about $20. He knows. He just knows. I've showed this before on my collection. I don't have very many big box sets, but the ones that I do have, the three major ones that I have, two of them I got from tips from Michael. Turned me on to great deals, and then the third one I got was a gift, which was the complete Evil Dead collection, including the Ash versus Evil Dead series. So that's I don't have that. Like I said, I don't have that many. I think I have like five. I have like five, right? Do I have yeah, five. I have five of those big box sets, which is really cool. Um, it really adds a lot of flavor to your collection when you see people talk about their movies and whatnot on the back of everybody on their wall. Like the one I mentioned before, the one I see so overwhelmingly in most collectors' back wall is always that Friday the 13th box set. Now I never thought I'd be able to find one for that because when it came out, it was like $170. 170. It was like, I like Jason, but not at $170. Um, but thanks to Michael, because I had heard that there was and they were going to lower it down to $99 on Amazon Day, on Amazon Prime Day, and so I didn't go after it because I thought you had to be a member of Amazon Prime in order to get those deals. And him and I were talking, and he had asked me, he said, "You going to go ahead and grab that?" And I told him, I thought, I'm not a Prime member. He says, "Oh, you don't have to be. You can just go get it yourself right now." So I did. I wouldn't have known that without Waffles. Uh, no, and there he is. He's saying he's going to be here in 7 minutes. All right, so 7 minutes uh, till we have 7 minutes till we have Waffles on the table. Uh, so like I said, his collection is formidable. I mean, he's got a tremendous physical media collection. He's definitely a physical media guy. Um, his and him and I, we always have a lot of fun about talking about collecting movies from the 80s and 90s. I swear I could put him and JT, the Nat. I can put him and JT together. I swear to God, those guys would not come out of the 80s. They would be trapped. They would be like they would be like that couple in the Beyond where they walk into that picture and they're there forever because they can't get out of it. That would be Michael and JT with horror movies from the 80s and 90s. They would never get out. They'd be turning around over and over and over. But they would be happy though. The thing is though, they would be happy to swim in that water. Me, I'm always sort of looking at what's coming next. Though I think well we had a lot of fun. Though I have to admit we had a lot of fun, me and JT, with the latest Midnight Society show. And thank you guys for your support for that. Holy crow, that's really neat. Uh, that was really neat. We had a really good response to that. Um, and of course, who got stuck in the 80s? That's right. It was me. I was right. I got to talk about Cujo, and JT got to talk about Misery, which was 1990. So he was right at home. Uh, but I've been enjoying going back to some of the older films. It's been cool. I've noticed that the dollar theater, the voter edition, where you guys get to vote on what me and the Cheetah watch and review. It's pretty classic. I'm like I looking at it, I'm like, man, these are a lot of older movies that I'm picking out here, and it's not by intention. It's not. I pick out four films, and then you guys vote on them. So I'm looking at the movies that I've watched so far, and you guys really do seem to be like some of the older stuff. So it's really interesting. Um, so we got for this week we did westerns. Um, and three of the four films are from the early 70s, 71 to 72. And we have one movie from 1968. So again, this week we will be going back in the Wayback Machine to the 70s or probably even the 60s, but I think it's going to be the 70s because Chuck Connors is winning right now, which is really cool to see. Um, because I think people recognize Chuck Connors, in our community, they recognize him mostly for Tourist Trap. But he's done other horror too. He did a TV show called Wolf, um, and yeah, he dabbled he was not afraid to dabble in the horror toward the end of his career. A lot of older actors have done that as well, like John Saxon and Christopher George. They were leading men of action, but toward the end of their career, they went ahead and started doing horror film, and at least a nice legacy. It shows that they were well rounded to me. Um, see, Waffles is finishing up a quick meeting. That's right. Well, it better be with frickin' Juan Soto, and he better be re-signing with the Yankees. That's right. Do it, Waffles. Make it happen. I would throw up Waffles against Scott Boras in a negotiating. I mean, if they had to negotiate, I'd put Waffles out there. I think he can handle it. Like I said, though, this is the first of two shows. So me and Michael are going to be here talking a little bit, and then 8 o'clock at our regular normal time. And thank you for yesterday's show as well. Yesterday was absolutely awesome show. Uh, we got to meet young rising actress Tiffany Saggio, Saggio, uh, and had a lot of fun with that. What a bright young lady! And what was really ultra cool about the show was her family showed in support. I've had family members come in, but I don't think I've had the whole family come in, and I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Uh, and all right, Lady Valerie's in here. I feel that yeah, I'm starting to dig this idea that you're coming in here a lot more. This is really cool. Thank you for coming in. I always feel good when I see you, Lady Valerie, because I know that things are going to be. cool and calm and collected. And let's go get Waffles because he's sitting over here with some syrup in his hand here.
What's up, Patrick?
You know what I want you to do? I want you to make a live stream show, like I wanted you and Dan to do it a long time ago. But I want you to do it like for your live stream. I want you to call it the Waffle House.
You know what's funny? I was just there the other day too. But I do got some really good news. I'm doing a collab with a pretty big YouTuber that's pretty big on YouTube, and I didn't even know he lives 2 towns over from me.
Nice. Are
So
you gonna be going out and you're gonna go out looking for films?
we are. We're gonna be going out doing like an out and about. A lot of people are gonna be. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. But when you guys see who it is, you're gonna be like, "What the hell?"
Well, I'm curious because I know it's not me.
No. I'll tell you, it's somebody that probably has one of the best movie collections that I've ever seen, ever. And he's awesome. And I was chatting with him not too long ago, and he was like, "Hey, I'm down by you." I said, "No way." And he told me what town. I was like, "I'm 7 minutes away from you."
Wow.
It's almost to the point where he was like, he told me the Walmart he goes to, and I told him the one I go to. He goes, "Don't steal all the steel books, please." He goes, "That's where I get mine." So it's going to be interesting. We're trying to get together. I think it might happen soon, real soon, actually. So that would be really interesting.
Sure. December is man, it's a tough. Oh yes, agreed, Lady Tiff. Agreed, Lady Valerie. Tiffany was awesome. Yes, that's right. She is from Wisconsin, and that
Nice.
was that was a good show yesterday. Holy crow! That's the kind of show I love to get. I just that really, it's funny. It's like, everybody wants to talk to well-known people, right? Like if you get a chance to talk to a big star, it's great. It's a lot of fun.
Sure.
But for me,
That's awesome.
it's always been for me to find the up and comers.
I love
I love finding the up and comers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's nice to do that because then, you'll get, especially when you can get them before they really get their start, you know what I mean? Which is pretty cool. I mean, my camera is awful. I don't know why my camera's acting like that. Give me a second. Let me see why it's acting like that. Like it won't zoom in.
Yeah,
It's weird.
I just think it's so much fun to find those that are, like you said, like up and coming. It's just so cool about that. And you go there and they got a little list of credits there and maybe some background work, but then you just go ahead and you work. And then next thing you know, then you start seeing their name out there.
Sure. Yep.
And I've seen that with a few people. And there's few people coming up still that have come through here, and then later on I see them getting bigger and bigger. And it's like,
Yep.
I remember I remember telling that to one actor when he did the show, and after the show I said, this will be the last time I have you. And he goes, huh? He says you won't be coming back here. You won't be coming back because he's gonna blow up, and he did. He is.
That's awesome.
So it
That's
is.
awesome. Hey, Val.
Hi, Gareth. How are you?
What's up, man? I'm trying to do a collaboration with him too. We're talking to.
Oh my gosh, yes. I saw that he did. He did Heartbreak Ridge with 101 Bronson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a guy you want to talk to.
Sure.
You and Jeff would be. You hit it off. He's more of an action adventure guy, but he's super cool. He's really a nice man.
No, for sure. And I definitely try to jump in a lot of his streams. Hey, when I get a chance, it's tough sometimes when I'm working and I'm watching everyone's videos. I'm trying to, since my setup is like 4 screens. So I'm looking and I'm watching, like when you go live, I'll try to, hey, jump on and chime in a little bit. But this afternoon it's kind of slow for me. So I was like, yeah, definitely today works for sure.
Well, the thing is too, is like what I really, like I really like to use you as an example. Like I know there's a lot of people out there that, man, I'm not sparking on anybody, but I'll tell you what, I do know there's some people out there in our community, and they whine and they bitch about how people don't support them.
Yes.
and they'll go on the community tabs and they'll go like, nobody likes me, nobody likes me, and it's like it's pretty simple. It's not that people don't like you. Okay, maybe for a few people, but I mean overall though, there's not like people don't like you. It's that you never fucking get out of your room and go visit other channels.
Yeah,
You know?
unfortunately, what you got to do is, you're gonna get as much as you put in. That's what you're gonna get out of it. So, I mean, if you're just sitting in a room doing videos or whatever, but if you're doing different things and which can work for you, um, what I did is I did a lot of research. So when I started my channel fresh again, unfortunately, I did that. I was trying to figure out how I can get subscribers. Like, what can I do? Like, what keywords? Like, what? So I watched Patrick probably 50 videos and 50 things how to do it. And kid you not, it's the different keywords, the different kinds of settings that you put in. My daughter, the different kinds of just like the title. You'd be surprised before you even upload the video how it would happen. And I started doing that, and I started getting views, and I started getting views on shorts, and I started blowing up on subscribers. I'm already at almost 1,500. I'm only started like 2 months ago.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's
when I
cool.
started doing this, I was like, get you on here to reintroduce you to everybody. But I thought that you had recovered your old channel.
No,
I thought you had recovered it, and I'm going like, oh, you recovered it. Oh, awesome. And then he said, no, no, this is what I'm doing.
yeah,
Um,
it was weird. I hesitated. I hesitated in coming back for a couple reasons, and I hesitated because I had a lot of things, as you know, and I'm sure we'll get into a little bit more. But I hesitated, but then I started researching on algorithms. Believe it or not, algorithms. I was indulged in it, and I just like what works, what doesn't, and I started putting in keywords and different things, and you'd be surprised. All of a sudden, I would get like 200 subscribers overnight, especially for my shorts. I've noticed I've been getting a lot of stuff from the shorts. I put up 500,000 views, 3,000 views. I'm like, what the heck? And it's been getting really, it's
it's a
crazy.
but it's a landmine though. It's
It
like
is. It is.
people say that, yeah, I get all those subscribers, but there's one thing you're not going to get. You're not going to get engagement. I don't know anyone.
No. I agree, Patrick. I try to, look, to be honest, I really don't care. I like putting out content, just having fun. I love the horror community. I love the community in general. Uh, Everybody has been super nice and very welcoming me back, which I love. You'll get your, excuse my French, some assholes once in a while here and there, right?
Yeah,
That,
we can raise a cup to that. I mean,
yeah, I already
it's
got one or two. So
really already, man.
yeah,
I'm out of it. I'm no one's, I got maybe one or two that are, that are right now are sort of pissed off at me, but I really don't give a rat's ass, and I'm not looking for their approval or nothing like that. So the support I've gotten this year has never been better. It's never been better. It's been great.
that's
Um,
awesome.
and so it's I can see why people once you realize that you just stay within your lane, do what you're going to do. Like I'm doing this is what I do. I'm not going to be out there, and I don't have all the bells and whistles. I will probably pick your brain about the algorithm though. I
Sure.
don't have the bells and whistles, but I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
We're having a lot of fun. That
Yeah.
was the whole key, is to have fun.
Sure.
um
I'll tell you, you can't take life is too short to have life's too short, and I learned that, as you know, in the last year or so. Life is too short, and the more you put out positivity, the more you're going to get it. So I've been very positive. Work's been a little stressful, but that's okay. But and I've been building my movie collection slowly. I'm not going to go and buy 100 movies. I'm just not going to do that. Um, lazy cheetah. they,
I know there's no such thing as a lazy cheetah.
they
It
have
cracks, it cracks me up. It cracks me up because I'm thinking about my cheetah, and well,
So do you know him? So do you
he's
know him?
actually sleeping. Huh? Yeah, he's actually been on the show before.
Cool. It says, I have a question, Hero Waffles. What's the hardest thing about being a YouTuber to you? Finding the time to make videos. I would say finding the time to not even just pump out videos, but pump out quality. I'm not about quantity. I'm about quality, right? So it's the time, and for me, it's tough. I work full time, right? And then after that, I have other things to do, so it's hard to find the time. But I managed. I managed, and I'm having fun. It's just fun, and I kind of changed it around. Like my old channel, I would show my movies all the time. Now I'm doing more like top 10 stuff, top 20 stuff that I love.
Yeah,
And it's
your haul videos were freaking amazing. I mean, now you could still, like, I mentioned this before, you know this, but I mean, like, I mentioned Beanie before he got here. I don't have very many of those big glamorous box sets, right?
yeah,
But I got three through you. I got the Friday the 13th one,
yep.
um, and
Which is on sale, by the way. Just like you guys know, Screen Factory has it $79.99 right
damn,
now.
that's $20. That's $20 lower than I got it
I, I I
three
think
four
it
years
still
ago.
is. I think it still is. Last time I saw, they're having a box set deal, and I saw $79.99. I was like, wow. I mean, that's a pretty good damn deal. If you don't have it, it's a pretty good deal. So
A
just
really
throw it
good
out
deal.
there. Jim says, "What did he say to me? Did you have a channel? Yeah, I had the same name. It was the same name. Uh, Unfortunately, I had some personal things to take care of, and I just shut it down. I was not in the mood to do any YouTube and any. I didn't even talk to anybody really. I kind of shut down from
Hmm.
reality for a while. Um, but then I was like, why am I going to put myself into like a dark hole and dwell on
No,
certain
do what
things?
you love. I mean, it's like, I mean, it was strange because it's like you did disappear, and it's just like, but it's funny. It's like sometimes when that, like we've lost a couple of people in our community this year,
Yeah,
and
that's
and
crazy.
it's been really really sad, and it's like it's first time that people are after a while, you don't expect that, but all of a sudden, I guess it's the nature of life, but sooner or later you're going to lose somebody on here, that you met through YouTube, and we've lost a few people.
Yeah,
uh
which is crazy. It's crazy. Hey, Jim, I do remember you, Jim. I do remember you. Yeah. I mean, I don't have that channel. The channel I have now is this one, but it's growing. But yeah, I mean, I remember you, Jim. I really do. I do remember now. I sub to your news. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, man. Let me tell you, Patrick. This last year and has been an absolute roller coaster. Um, Kind of very different. As you know, I'm not in New Jersey anymore.
no.
I am in
No,
Georgia.
you were in Georgia when when that happened. I mean, you moved down to Georgia,
Yeah,
and then when you did, the thing that it is though is like when you disappeared, I knew you were okay
yeah,
physically. I knew you were okay. I
yeah,
know it's like, but sometimes people just leave. Sometimes people leave YouTube. Sometimes they don't have the time or the inclination to do it anymore, and so
yeah,
they do leave. I
yeah,
just say that just whatever if you want to take down your channel. I mean, I just say what I say, you just leave it alone because it's not like YouTube's going to come by and
yeah,
sweep. There's been channels on here for 20 years,
yeah,
um, and so they're not going to sweep it off. So it's still going to
yeah,
be there. I just say write down all your information, your password, and everything else. Maybe go in there once every year and change the password or something like that.
yeah,
But I knew you were okay. I mean, as far as that goes, but I didn't know what was going on. And
yeah, yeah,
well, nobody wants to pry. So
yeah,
when you came back, I was really happy, but then I was really sad.
yeah. Unfortunately, and I won't get too deep into it, but it's a personal thing. It's nothing terrible. It's just something that, believe it or not, a lot of people go through. So, um, yeah. But I'll tell you this. I've been talking to a lot of YouTubers and a lot of content creators on here offline, like yourself. Dan. I've been talking to Dan forever. That kind of helped me get through some tough times, which is fantastic. But I'll tell you this: I've been more positive. I love to put out videos. I love to share what I love. Like, look, I love the '80s, and I heard you before. I'm stuck in the '80s. I know. I am stuck in the '80s. I love '80s, and I'm stuck in it. I just love the '80s. I've been trying to open, I guess, take my blinders off and kind of I was doing the '90s top tens and 2000s.
You
But
did 2000s?
I
All right.
did.
Oh, snap.
I did. I
What,
did.
what was it like? Were you able to find 10 movies?
Barely. Barely. But I mean, it was a good time. I mean, I have a lot of stuff coming out. Like I said, I have some. Me and Dan actually talked about me flying out to him and doing a weekend of like going out and about. That would be really cool. So that's in talks too.
I always said you guys should have did it. You guys should have done a live show.
Yeah,
I was trying to get you guys to do it so hard.
we
You
did
know,
have a name. We did have it was Rejected Waffles.
yeah.
We did have a name. We were gonna do it, and then a couple people felt like because it was gonna be four of us actually, and a couple people just stopped going on. Then me, it was a bunch of stuff, but there's a ton of. I know, Vals. I know. People tell me that.
You should have seen Waffles when he's doing all his haul videos. I got all these new movies to share, and all of a sudden it's like you reach up there, it's like, oh, that's from the '80s, dude. It's not really new. It's just
It's like Dracula, the old
Dracula. Yeah, 1931 Dracula. Have you guys ever seen this? Yeah, I think everybody in the community has Waffles, but go right in with your badass self.
I know. I'll tell you this: like, if you're really looking for some deals this year, believe it or not, there's Five and Below has been fantastic, and I have not seen more horror stuff, movie stuff at a store in Five Below in a long time. They have some really cool stuff. So if you have one by you, definitely take a gander into there because they got some really good stuff in there. Really cool stuff. Mm-hmm. I just bought this Christmas stocking for $5, which I thought was pretty cool, and.
God help us.
And I thought that was fantastic. So, and my dog.
Well, you know me though. You know me. The library is where I swim at.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know if you saw my. I don't know if you saw my haul video yesterday or not, but yeah, I was rolling yesterday.
Yeah, you actually. I'll tell you, you get some steals there, Patrick. Like I've been watching. Like you get some really good deals and some really good steals there. So yeah, I mean, I don't have access to like that. Like our library don't have any of that. So when you get those deals, I'm like, and you're like, oh, 50 cents. I'm like, what the hell?
25 cents.
Yeah, 25. That's right. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
So, yeah, and for a while, for like 7 or 8 months, it was a dime.
Oh my god! Oh, inflation got it.
Oh my god! I was going in there and I was picking out, I was going picking out the seasons for dime. There had season sets there, and for a dime, I would go in there and just like I was like, this is unbelievable, unbelievable. And then it went up to a quarter, and then I'm like, this is still unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you got some really good deals. I mean, I try to be a little bit price conscious too. Jim goes, here, the dog loved it. Yeah, the dog wants to chew it, Jim. The dog wants to chew the stocking. He doesn't want me to have it. I mean, I just opened we have a this is like a I guess a man cave now. And I left the door open because he likes to smell the fresh air, but he is such a bastard. I know he's looking to run out so bad. And that's the last thing I want him to do. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm back. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be on here, Patrick, with you guys and talking to you. It's been a crazy year. Let me tell you, it's been a crazy year.
Yeah, I'm really sorry that what happened to you. You mentioned what
Yeah. I'll eventually get into that one day when it's done, when everything is all.
You don't need to tell anybody anything. It's not we don't owe us anything. All we know is that we support you, and if you need someone to vent to, there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help you.
And that's awesome. And I do want to share something. I actually got a gift from my sister for Halloween. She was like, hey, because she says, you're so weird with horror movies. You're so weird. But she got me a gift because she goes to the Spirit Halloween, right? She goes to Spirit Halloween, and she gets when they like 75% off. And she got me this for 75% off, and I haven't displayed it yet, but I have to eventually, and that's Annabelle. And I think that's so cool.
Now, are you now getting into the? Now, I always knew you were into. I knew you're always into the films and everything. Are you starting to you gonna get a few figures to go on in your man cave?
I might. I might. I mean, I want to. It's expensive. We all know it's
Okay.
expensive as hell. I mean, I want to, but I mean, I got some really good deals. My sister got some really good deals at Spirit. She went. My sister, if you look at my shorts, if you get a chance, one of my first shorts is my sister for Halloween. She does a really big display in her house, and I love it. And I dressed up as Michael Myers, and I looked like one of the displays, and no one even knew. And I was scared the shit out of people, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And anyway, she got 75% off animatronics, Spirit, and she
That's a
picked
good
me up
deal.
one. She picked me up one, and I have Ghostface standing over here, 6'5" Ghostface standing right next to my TV. um,
As far as your collection goes, I mean, as far as your collection goes, I mean, you got your man cave going on there. Your collection was massive.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
talk to us a little bit about one thing that I really am amazed about. How do you find your deals? Do you find your deals just through diligence, through hard work? Do you have like a network of friends who tell you, or collective friends who tell you when things go on sale, or do you just, because I can't see you sitting in front of the computer for hours looking. I
No, it's all.
I just had a feeling like there's got to be a network going on here. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and,
So
and Go
it's
ahead.
all the above. It's all the above. So um, I'm in a lot of like the horror Facebook groups, right? So a lot of times they'll throw on deals. You can get deals on there. Marketplace is another place, believe it or not, is I've been having really good success on the marketplace. eBay, of course, but eBay's too high.
Mhm.
I actually got involved a little bit with Macari, which is kind of interesting. Macari is like almost like an eBay, and you can get some really good deals. But Dan just introduced me to Whatnot, and you could get some really good Blu-rays for like $2. And I'm like, whoa. And so yeah, I mean, it's everything, Patrick. And I'm very price conscious. So, and a lot of people would say, "Oh, you didn't get that for that." No, you want to see the receipt? Here it is. And it's
Oh
just
yeah, I'm surprised no one has ever called me out on what I've gotten. No one's
yeah,
ever sat there and say that's some bull. If you say you pay $6 for that, that's bullshit. You paid more. No, actually, that's absolutely true.
yeah.
That's,
It's all depends. And plus, you make trades. Like I've made trades before. I've done that. I mean, and again, my collection is it's not as massive as it used to be. It's pretty big, but it's getting there. And but I'm trying to stay with certain companies like like Screen Factory, Arrow. But when you get into like the Vinegar Syndromes, it's just so expensive, and it's
I don't
like
know why you just don't come back down to where I've been telling you for now for like the last 3 years since we've known each other. Well, you did Shout Factory, but you can do a little better than that. You should just go ahead and guess you can kill two stones with two birds with one stone and get those cool IFC movies that you're talking about. Our IFC show has passed. It's going out to its 40th show. We've done
that's
40
crazy.
shows. We've done 40 shows on that. Man,
Wow.
yeah, and it's like, man, it's like come to the dark side, Waffles, because we got cookies.
I love
But
cookies.
yeah, the boutique. Now, okay, let me ask you this. As we all know, physical media is basically
So,
it's shrinking. It's shrinking. I mean, the brick and mortar. Though it's interesting though is that Barnes and Noble. I read an article about Barnes and Noble, and they're coming back. Barnes and Noble is doing very well right now, and
interesting. Okay. Okay.
I'm hoping that they can translate some of that recovery into the physical media section to lower it down because I like Barnes and Noble, but the physical media, it just that was the one part of the story you never saw me in. No,
Yeah.
no, I remember the first time I walked in there and saw the Criterions and I picked it up and it's like $49.99. I'm looking at the cashier and going like $50 for a movie. $50
Uh huh.
for a movie. This is before I got into collecting.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
what I would sit there and when I walked in there and I said $50. Do you know what I'd be saying all these years later if I walked inside Barnes and Noble and I walked over to the Criterion section? You know what I'd be saying?
No.
$50? I'd be saying the same thing because I've always felt like God, if they could just look, because they had those sales, the 50% off sales.
Mhm.
And I'm going like, you know what? If you could do that twice a year, why
Don't
can't you
they?
do it? Why?
Don't,
Yeah, they do it. Well, they do it every 6 months, and it's like if you could do that two times out of the year, why can't you do it 4 times? Believe me, it's not like Criterion sitting over there going like, "Yeah, we're too good for sales."
yeah,
Criterion is feeling the pain too. Let me tell you, if you talk to the owners of Criterion, they would tell you their biggest sales with their biggest, like our two best months are the 2 months that they go on sale.
yeah.
They would
Unfortunately,
tell you that.
these companies sometimes don't. I mean, it's funny, like what they do, and I notice is they. I'm sorry with the glare. I'm trying to block the glare out, but yeah, whew, that's bad. Unfortunately, these companies they say, oh, we got half off, but yeah, it's like $50, and then it's like half off. Okay, 27.99, whatever. Like, dude, it's still much. And Vinegar Syndrome, I love them. It's just I'm not paying $60 for Roadhouse. I'm just not doing that.
I
So
could not believe that when I saw that $60 for Roadhouse. And the funny thing is I actually picked up a copy for a dollar at the Dollar Tree.
yeah, yeah. I'm just not doing that. I love, I love deals. Unfortunately, Walmart and Target pretty much don't even do physical media pretty much anymore,
No,
barely, which kind of stinks. Um, but yeah, I mean, I can't do $50, $60 a movie. I just can't. I mean, my budget does not do that. I mean,
I know.
and you're right, Solus. Like Solus Trenchcoat's right. He's even said in your chat. He goes, "It's ridiculous, 50, $60. I mean, if you're talking like a box set, for
Yeah.
$60, like a couple, then I'll think about it. But when you're telling me Roadhouse for $60, no,
The
no,
same thing happened with Navy SEALs. They came out and they made a big hoopla. It was like a centerpiece of their big sale. We got Navy SEALs. It's like I think it was like 39.99. And I was just looking at that and going like, I just got done picking that up for a quarter this week.
yeah, yeah.
And like, why the
Unfortunately,
hell would why would you go out there and spend $40? I,
I
I
don't
it's just,
know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I know some people can afford it. I mean, I can't. I'll be honest. I can't. Would I like to collect some of these? Yeah, I would. But you gotta go within your means. That's a problem too. I've noticed what a lot of collectors will go outside their means, and then all of a sudden it puts them in a financial debt.
oh
Um,
God, yes.
so credit cards start going up. I've noticed that. I noticed a couple content creators have that issue where it's like, yeah, I spent too much, and then they start selling off some of their collection. Hey, look, I've been there years and years ago where I had to sell off some of my stuff. Hey, we all do it sometimes. Sometimes you got to do it, but I kept all the good stuff, of course. But it's collecting movies. It's not for the light of heart. It's really not.
No, no. And it's like, like I talk to a lot of people like, budget collectors like myself. And the one thing we both agree on too is like when did DVDs become vilified? It's like if you go out there and buy a DVD and you say, okay, this is what I bought. I got a DVD. Oh my God, you get the hate. People are going, I wouldn't buy that for nothing. I wouldn't get that on a DVD. I wouldn't, no, I can't do that anymore. I gotta have 4K. And it's like,
Yeah, everyone's
why
into the
does that really
4K now.
matter? I can put it on my DVD player, my Blu-ray DVD player, and guess what? I can see the picture. I can see it.
Yeah,
It works.
well, Patrick, now, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love 4K a lot. I mean, and the reason I like it, it's just it feels more crisp. I love and my setup's pretty nice, so I like to have the full experience. And for me, like my 4K player and TV, I like it. I just like the crispness, and you kind of, I don't know, I just like it better.
But you're
Yeah,
not gonna, but you're not going to be a snob about it. If someone said, "Hey, I got a box of DVDs. Would you like to take a look at it? Would you like to have a few in your collection?" You're not going to sit there and say, "Yeah, that's never going to happen." I mean, you're
I
going to go through the box and see what you like and take what you like.
if I could score DVDs, of course I would, 100%. I mean, you can go on the marketplace and people are selling them by the bins for
Yeah,
super cheap. And I'm like, man, how much you want that bin of 100 DVDs? Oh, $30. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, not a problem. Um, but yeah, a collecting's fun. I love, and again, I love the 80s. 80s is my number one. I would say 90s is my number
Yeah,
two. And
I would say 90s is number two. Then 80s is the probably your number three. Then 90s is the number four.
then, yeah,
Maybe 70s is your five. I don't know.
I don't know. Stop up. I don't know this, but all right, all right.
Your dog is stealing scene on you.
Yeah, he loves me. I mean, he's an older boy. He's 9 years old. I had him since he was 8 weeks old, so he's a big boy now. Here, go get your baby. Here, go get your toy. Yeah. So, anyways, look, it's glad to be back. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be. Thank you for having me. Also, Patrick, it's awesome, man. I love talking anything. So, but yeah, man. I mean, I'm trying to get my feet back down and grow some roots here in Georgia too. So,
Yeah, I was glad to see that you're still down there. And you haven't been converted over to a total Braves fan. I still see the Met cap and the Angel cap going around. Floating
yeah,
around.
let me tell you, people are trying to convert me. People are trying to convert me. Let me tell you, I was at Truist Field, Atlanta, right? And let me tell you, like, I went to one of the Mets games here. Let me tell you, the field is so small. It's small, and it's like, but
Fields are a joke. Fields are a joke.
It is a joke. And I can't stand the Braves, but believe it or not, they're huge down here. They're Georgia Bulldogs, huge. They're Bulldogs. Yeah, it's huge. Braves, yeah, huge, but not. But that's about it, man. It's the Braves, the Falcons, a little bit now.
A little bit.
But it was a culture shock from moving to New Jersey to Georgia, especially because a lot of people tell me slow down when you talk because like here they're slowing down. Me from New Jersey, New York, I'm always, going. So very different down
here. Well, yeah. Well, it's actually funny. I'm sitting there, and I this past season, and there's another Met fan out here that I talked to, and I was always thinking, like, I said, it's too bad Waffles is not here watching this season with us, because you would be, you'd be so into it. So we're sitting there watching baseball, and I'm thinking, during the Subway series, and like, okay, I'm sort of then I'm thinking, I am sort of, I'm as much as I miss Waffles right now, I'm sort of glad he's not here because I already got one guy riding my ass about the sweep. Now I have Waffles doing it, and it'll be terrible for the Yankees to, Yankees weren't going to win with Boone as manager. They're never going to win with him as a manager. But they got to the World Series, and I'm thinking, even if they have somehow managed to upset the Dodgers, they're still not world champions. They're still not, because they got swept by the freaking Mets. How could you sit there and say, "Yeah, we're the champs"? Yeah, the scoreboard says differently.
let me tell you, the Mets, for them to get as far as they did with the pitching they had, their pitching, they stepped up. I gotta say, their pitching stepped. I was very happy. I was very happy to see where they got with who they got. Unfortunately, a lot of the deals they got were 1-year deals, so I'm very curious to see where a lot of these guys are going.
Honestly, the money is that Soto's going to go to the Mets.
Yeah, but if that's the case, there's no way you can afford Pete Alonso. There's no way.
Well, I think Jim saying it wasn't a good year to be a White Sox fan.
It's never a good year to be a White Sox fan.
Yeah, let me tell you, the Met fans are extremely happy for the White Sox season because I do believe they took over the worst record in Major League history. I think they only won 39 games this year.
Yeah. I mean,
the Mets are no longer the worst team ever.
Thank God. Oh, jeez.
They're talking about. I call it the Rodriguez the problem. The Rangers. Remember the Rangers signed Alex Rodriguez. They signed him to a $250 million deal.
Yep.
And it was everybody talked about it. Everybody talked about it. He got the money. But when everybody got all excited for the Rangers. But what happened was that the Rangers spent all their money on Rodriguez and didn't have any money for pitching, which they needed.
Yeah.
They never competed at all. They were never in any race. I think they finished last place.
Jeez.
I think they finished last place every year they had Rodriguez, even though he won an MVP award.
Yeah, what worries me, what's going on in Stock and Sport? What worries me is that the Mets are going to get Soto and not have enough money to invest in other areas. And Pete Alonso just today turned down his 1 year qualifying offer, $21 million a year. So,
Yeah, Soto did too.
So, I mean, I don't know. If you could afford both, that'd be great. I'd love to see it. But our pitching got us where we are. But a lot of our pitching, too, was on 1 year deals. Severino, 1 year. So he's going to
for 1 year.
1 year. He's going to look to get paid now because he had a really good year. He had a good year. He had a decent year.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
He has some other guys, too. So I don't know. I mean, it's going to be an interesting year. Don't talk about my Dallas Cowboys. They suck.
I don't. I just don't. You know, tell you the truth, I really don't want. People are going to laugh at this, but I really don't want Soto. I don't.
Not for that much.
I don't want. No, I don't want it. No, I mean,
he's a good player.
I like him a lot, but I don't like him for the near. And it's like, the Yankees have just made some really poor deals. I didn't like the Judge deal. Didn't like that at all. Didn't like that at all. And do you know Judge strikes out more than he has hits?
I know he bats 182 in the playoffs.
I know. I was like, I said, what? I said, what? Did A-Rod make a comeback here? Because he's looking like A-Rod at the plate there.
I like him. For some reason, he's batting. I saw 182 in the playoffs. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, okay.
Jim's sitting there saying, I wish I was in a position in life where I could turn down $21 million for 1 year. I would do ungodly things for $21 million. Oh, boy. Holy cow.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm almost afraid to even ask what
I was going to say.
I'm just going to, well, I tell you one thing. I bet there's one thing I bet he wouldn't do.
Yeah.
I bet he went for $21 million and that he would have to watch Dirty Dancing nonstop for a year.
Oh, I can't even do it once.
If he can watch Dirty Dancing for 1 year solid, I give you $21 million.
Go ahead.
I don't think he'd make it. I don't think.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it more than once. I just can't do it.
No. He cannot be bought. However, he could be rented. Rented to watch Dirty Dancing for a year. Okay.
Jeez.
Well, okay. So you're rebuilding your collection. Sure. Well, some of the movies that you've seen though so far this year that you like, because I know you watch a lot of film.
Sure.
So what are some of the movies that you watched, or maybe some of the ones that people haven't been talking about that like
people haven't been talking about? Okay, well, they're older movies, but I saw some new ones. So I know you're gonna be like, oh, 4K. So anyways, a movie called Torso came out in 4K, which I did a video about, and I like that movie. It's a pretty good movie. If you get a chance, Arrow put that out. It's really good. It's I think a 1973 film or 77. I don't remember the year, but Torso is a really good one. I love that they put out Trick or Treat also. I love that movie so much.
Which one? The 86 one or
both,
the same?
Both. I love them both. But the 86 one, when they announced they're putting that out, I was like, wow. And it's an awesome box set too. Newer movies, I enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine. Actually, I love that. I thought that was a fantastic movie. But believe it or not, Terrifier 3 was my favorite. That was my absolute favorite, especially when I saw people walking out of the theater sick. That was the best part. That was the best part. But
I have not seen anybody walk out of a theater sick since though your good friend here, he came damn near close to doing that when I watched The Coffee Table. I had to head to the bathroom for that one. I almost lost my lunch. That movie
is brutal. Let me tell you, Patrick, I was sitting there and there wasn't a lot of people because I watched it. I waited till it was a couple of days left in the theater. And it was maybe me and maybe 7 other people. And the opening scene was kind of rough, but there was this one scene. It's a shower scene. That's all I'll say. It's a shower scene when this guy was sitting a couple rows front. I actually heard him like regurgitate his food that he was eating, and he headed out. He was like, he said out loud, "No, can't do it," and walked out. I was like, "Holy moly!" And I thought that was awesome. And then because I read that people were walking out, and I was like, "No way!" And it happened with me in there, and I was like, "Whoa!" And I could take that stuff, but this guy, I don't know, maybe the hot dog went down the wrong way or something, but he was like, no. He said it out loud too. No, I'm not doing it, and walked out.
The only time I've actually ever seen that happen before, where someone's walked out where people got out sick, was, and you'll love this. You'll sit there, you'll find this very ironical. Was actually back in 1978 when Dawn of the Dead came out,
Mm,
and
yeah,
I
don't.
saw people get out. I saw people get out getting sick. This one girl came right by where we're sitting at, and she had her hands over her mouth, and you could see she was getting sick in her hands.
Yeah,
And we were laughing. We were, here we are, we're 14 years old. We're laughing our asses off at that, because it's like because it was funny because it's like, how are you getting sick over a movie like this? But yeah,
yeah,
uh,
yeah. I mean, Terrifier was the last one I seen. I've heard, and I'm kind of interested in this. Believe it or not, people might not know this about me because they know I do all like horror movies. I love superhero movies. I love them. I love Supermans and Batmans and everything. And I'm not sure if you know, but well, I'm sure everyone knows. But James Gunn is part of DC now and doing Superman. And supposedly, the rumor has it that the trailer is dropping soon. And some people got a sneak peek, and they're saying it's giving them goosebumps, like really good. I'm like, I hope so. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I loved Christopher Reeve as Superman. Believe it or not, Henry Cavill, I think did a fantastic job. I think he did a
he
good
was
job.
he was perfect.
I think he was the perfect Superman, and they effed him, man. And I think he should have kept going. He was great.
They
And believe
they,
it or
they
not, Ben
screwed
Affleck
over,
was good too as Batman.
they screwed over Henry, and they also screwed over The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Um, I
Yeah,
I saw Black Adam, and Black Adam. I thought it was, I was a little nervous about it, and it's true. I do think I thought it was far too CGI heavy for my liking,
yeah,
but I like the fact that it was a hell. The Flash was just almost unwatchable. The only
yeah,
thing, the only thing that made it watchable at all was the girl who plays Supergirl, uh,
yeah,
Sasha
yeah,
Kelly. I
yeah.
thought she was great.
She did a really good job. But yeah, it was very CGI heavy.
Yeah,
You know what it is that a lot of people right now are having the Marvel hangover right now. Like they missed, the Avengers, and supposedly, it's a new one's coming. But eh, DC needs to pick it up. They need a movie that's going to kind of catapult them, and hopefully Superman does it. Um, I hope, but I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine was hilarious. That was so good. There was some CGI issues with it, a little bit, but you wouldn't know it's because it was so good, and was funny. And you know what it was? The biggest thing is, and why it got a lot of hype. Everybody wanted to see Wolverine in the yellow suit. We never seen it. We never
right.
seen the comic accurate yet. And
No,
when he did, you knew everyone was like, "Oh my god!" People were waiting for that for years. I don't know why all the X Men never did it. I don't get it.
I don't know why either. I mean, even from the very first X-Men movie, it was like no reason, that
No,
none. They did
no.
they messed up a lot of, they messed up a lot. They messed up in a lot, and they messed it up starting in the very first X-Men by making Sabretooth, like just like a lackey. It's like Sabretooth is not a lackey. He's not anybody's lackey. And
No.
they didn't give Tyler Mane any and hardly any dialogue, and it was just like, oh, it,
Yeah, Tyler
yeah.
Mann he's a really good actor, so I'm very surprised that they
I
didn't
was
go.
too. I was too. I mean, he was one of the best things about Troy. Tyler
Yeah,
Mane out there battling away with that big ass hammer of his. And it was like, it was badass. I was like, man, get this guy back in here.
yeah,
Um, it was funny too. Because speaking of older movies, Derek Mears, who did the reboot of the Friday the 13th, right? So he
yeah.
did the reboot as Jason Voorhees. He's fantastic in that.
I agree.
He did a movie that nobody saw called Lion Girl, and he played the main bad guy in there, and the guy can act. He was
Yeah,
badass in there. I'm sitting there, man, this guy, put him back as give that guy a script.
yeah,
I think a lot of horror actors, I think they get short shifted about that. We were talking about that, and we were talking about how, for me, I was going off on a little bit of a rant when Tony Todd passed away. because
Yeah.
I'm thinking here when he passed away, and I'm thinking, like I'm watching all these people come out of the woodwork, giving him praise, his peers and everything else, and at the same time, I'm looking around at it, going like, wow, if he was so fucking good, like you're saying that he was, then why didn't you put him in your movies?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
didn't you give him? Why didn't you make him a co-star? Why it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Um,
Patrick, I met Tony Todd at a Monster Mania a couple years ago. Not a couple years. This was a good. Come here, Thunder. Come here. It was a good amount of time ago, and he was absolutely awesome. And I'll give you a real quick story. So I went downstairs. I went with my buddy Scott. We went to Monster Mania that was in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and he was there, and so was Robert England, and they had a bunch. They had Ernie Hudson. They had a good kind of stay, like a good show. So the actors stay and actresses stay in that same hotel. So sometimes they go down to the bar or restaurant. Me and my friend, hey, let's go down. It's like 11 o'clock. There's Robert England at the bar with some other lady drinking, having a drink. I look to my right, and there's Candyman sitting there at a table. It's kind of dark with two women. They're just talking. And I said, and my buddy's like, don't go up to him. I said, hey, why not? Who cares? And no one's bothering him. So I went up to him. I said, look, I don't want to bother you, but I just want to say, I love your movies. I think you're fantastic. And I just wanted to introduce myself. And I went to walk away, and he grabbed me. He goes, no, you can sit here for a little bit. So me and my buddy sat, and we were talking to him. Really cool for like 20 minutes. And I said, look, it's a pleasure. Enjoy your night. We go back out. We go to the front of a hotel. He comes out to the front of the hotel in the lobby, just starts talking, shooting the shit. Hey, how's everyone doing? It was like so cool. I've never had anybody, any actor or actress do that. And I thought that was really cool, man. Tony Todd, that was so cool of him. And he's a big dude.
he's 6'5".
He's a big dude. And I'm 6'1". I was like, what the hell? And I was like, what the hell? But he's such a nice guy. So
Yeah. I just, I was just, that was really what got me, like, when he passed and everybody's coming out, and then, we're always talking about stuck in, a small circle, and I think that happens to us too here, here in the community, I don't know. It's probably the one thing that gets me more than anything else. And, which I really like, that's really like what I really like about Jim is Jim just recently did in October, he showed off his movies. He's like, he had different sort of genres and, different sections and whatnot. And he had a wide array of films. I mean, like wide array. It wasn't just like the usual suspects.
yeah.
Like, okay, I've seen all those before, Jim. It wasn't like that. It was like a variety of a collection. I really enjoyed watching it too. And go to Jim's channel and sub. And it's really cool. And it's like those are the kind of collection videos I like. I like it when someone comes out there and there's just stuff that you've never seen before. You're sitting there making mental notes about to look for it, And it's really, because a lot of times you go watch people's collections and Jesus Christ Almighty, it's the same shit. It's the same. And I thought about the same thing with Tony Todd. It's like when Tony Todd passed, people started talking about him, and really what got me was they're talking about 5 fucking movies. The guy did 255 movies, and everybody's talking about 5 of the. It's like I'm like I was talking with Eric from Hate Internet's Eric, and him and I were talking about that, going like, how no one looked at his his body of work. I'm not saying every movie that he in was a classic, but he should have been. He should have been on a hell of a. I mean, you go back and you see his heyday was back in the '90s. The late '80s and '90s. That was his heyday. That's where he got his big roles in. But then it just seemed like after that, people just forgot him.
Yeah, people don't know. People don't know he was in like Sleepy Hollow, right? He was in Sleepy Hollow, if you remember that, in 1999. He was also in Platoon, right? Was he in Platoon? He was like, he was in Platoon, and he was on the thing people don't know, he was in a bunch of TV shows too.
Yeah, so, Star Trek. He was in I'm a big fan of his in Star Trek. He played in various roles, but he played Worf's brother, man, and it was awesome.
He was on the. I used to love the X-Files, by the way, years ago. And he was on the X-Files. He was on one of the episodes. It was called The End, and he was like Agent X. So, but yeah, it's sad that he went, and it's kind of weird. Oh my god, I'm forgetting her name right now. Oh my god, the chick that was in Halloween. Remember the little girl?
Oh, Danielle Harris.
She actually shared something on Instagram the other day that she sent a text like it was like a week before he passed and said, "Hey, friend, hope you're doing well. I just wanted to check in on you." And he wrote back, "Hey, I'm okay. How are you?" And that was the last text that she ever got. And I was like, she shared that, and I was like, "Oh man, kind of sucks." That's why I tell everybody, and I've learned this in the last year. Believe it or not, is life's too short. We life's too short, and put out positivity, especially in the community. I try to support everybody. I jump in everybody's lives. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
I try to show
Yeah.
support. I don't put down nobody. I know you got there's goons and shit out there that will say, "Oh, bullshit," and make fun of you or put your channel down. Those to me go like this: block, done.
Yeah. The thing that they complain about, the one thing really kills me is when they complain about how no one goes over to their channel.
Yeah.
Nobody comes over and supports me, and it's like, yeah, when's the last time you supported anybody else? I mean, when's the last time you were ever on anybody else's live stream or left a comment? I mean, you get what you give out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't put out anything to anybody, you're not going to get it. And then you sit there and cry about it.
No,
I mean,
that's the thing. I mean, look, the biggest thing is this community is a huge community, right? So I think everybody supporting each other is key. But when you start, and I don't know who, like I haven't seen it, maybe because I haven't been back in a while, but there are people that say, "Oh, I don't get views, I don't get subscribers, I don't get this. People don't come to my channel." Well, I mean, dude, are you supporting other channels? Are you doing that? Are you going, and you're probably not. So, for me, I think the more, and we can talk more about it if you like, but the more you put out, the better you're going to get. And I did research, Patrick, before I started putting out any videos. I waited and waited to learn algorithms, and when I started doing it and learning it and kind of the things you have to do, I started getting views and stuff. And look, it's not about it. I just love doing it, but like there's a way to do it, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I have to hear about that because
it actually starts, Patrick, before you even put up a video. It actually starts that when you're like, if you're editing a video, it's people just save it to their desktop. You got to put certain titles in, certain keywords while you're doing it. I didn't even know. I never did it. It was very interesting, very very helpful. And believe it or not, let me tell you, and I'll throw it out there, guys. ChatGPT, check it out. It's free. I put in there, how do I beat the algorithm in YouTube? What can I do? And he gave me a couple steps, and I tried those too. And it's been working. And it's awesome. I mean, look, it's fantastic to have. So definitely do your research, man, because when I did, it worked out for me.
Now, hey, Mr. Dan Ahor walked in. Cool as hell. All right.
Hard cat that. What's up?
Oh, thank you guys all for coming in for the show today. I appreciate you guys being here.
Sure.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. Yeah, this is what I was glad you're back because I miss these conversations that we've had.
Sure.
Especially with the tips about the collecting and finding the best deals.
Sure.
The Five Below, that's interesting because I had never even thought about that, but it sort of makes sense now because because before we were all hitting the Dollar Tree, and Dollar Tree basically gave up on movies for all their stores. They gave that up last year. Like that was the year before last. Actually, was the last time. But I know that they own Five Below. So now I guess that's where their movies are going to is Five Below.
No, well, let me backtrack a little bit. Five Below, I haven't seen movies there. I just see more collectible figure stuff. If you're looking for stuff like that, for instance, they have Christmas ornaments, right? And I love them, and they're pretty cool. But they'll have like stuff like this, and I'll just throw them out there, like Chucky Christmas ornament. And it's cool, and they're $5. But then you go on eBay, and these scalpers are scalping the hell out of it, selling it for like $30.
Yeah.
But like, I have my tree. Like, I got my. You can't really see, but I have a black tree, and the tree topper is Michael Myers' head. So, So, anyways, Five and Below. If you're looking for figure stuff, and you're looking for like little knickknacks and stuff for hard, that's your spot to go.
Are they selling Funko Pops now at Dollar Trees?
There's Dollar Trees. I haven't seen one at Dollar Tree. There's tons at Five and Below. If you go to Five and Below, Patrick, tons of Funkos, tons of them.
Yeah, because
So
I thought I heard one. I thought I heard someone had commented that they had seen a few Funko Pops over at Dollar Tree. I'm like,
that's
that's news
interesting.
to me. Yeah.
That's interesting. I'll tell you this. I did get a really good deal if you want. Believe it or not, I went to, you know what? I'll show you. I went to a Goodwill. And I don't collect this, but I decided to when they were $1 a piece. I went to a Goodwill.
You got something at Goodwill for $1?
A couple. So Goodwill, you can score some stuff. So I don't collect this, but I thought they were cool covers. So I got laser discs, and I got a couple of movies. I got The River. Picked up The River.
Okay.
Okay.
I remember that movie.
Paul Newman's Fat Man and the Little Boy.
Yep. Angola Gay. Yep.
Now it gets good. Romance and the Stone.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that looks mint.
It's pretty. I mean, it's beat up a little bit. This is the score. Fright Night.
Oh,
in Japan, whatever that Japanese or something.
Wow,
they're going for like $30 a piece. I got this one. I don't know, I like it. Hook.
So you got all those for $1 at a Goodwill?
$1 a piece. Yep. These ones, the ones I'm about to show you, were $5 a piece, but I wanted to get them.
Yeah, that sounds more like it.
Yeah.
I'm just going over. Let's see. I'm gonna have to stop using my vape here for a second. Yeah. Yeah, I think Jim's gonna be. I think we're all just totally amazed that you got something for $1 at Goodwill.
Yeah, so those titles were $1, but then they must have knew because these ones were $5, and I picked up Life Force for $5, which I think is still a fantastic deal. I picked up Leviathan. Let's see if you can see it.
Which was that one?
Was it called Leviathan, whatever it is?
Leviathan. Yeah, that was a badass movie.
This was my major score, and this ain't even a horror movie. This is one of my favorite movies when I was a kid, and I saw it, and it was $5, and I said, I got to get it. And that is Popeye, and I had to get it, man.
God, I bet people probably paid for some money for that.
I don't know. I just know so altogether it was what, 15, and then I paid I think I paid $20 for like 8 of them.
Now, do you have a lot of thrift stores around you? I mean, do you have a hunting area now that you go every week and go and me, I go once a week to the library. I
go to the Goodwill. The Goodwill that was my first score, and I've been going for 5 months. So, I mean, that was the first score that I got. They got a lot of DVDs and stuff, which I like. There haven't been really any really good scores. Goodwill, I do a lot of yard sales and flea markets. A lot of yard sales, garage sales.
Prices come down, and because I went yard sailing. I went yard sailing earlier in this season, I'll put this out to the chat too because I'm curious. I think you're right. I think marketplaces pretty much has taken away from the yard sale.
Yeah.
I went to 2 different yard sales, and they were selling stuff for like you expect them. The prices weren't to move. They're charging like $5 for DVDs.
People want to make money. I did get a score, Patrick. I did get a score last week at a yard sale for $2. And the only reason I stopped at this yard sale is because my family was having their own yard sale around the corner. So I was on my way. I'm like, oh, let me see. This thing is humongous. I don't know if I can show you this. It's over here. I didn't get a chance to hang this up yet. This is a metal. This thing is huge. I paid $2 for this, and I thought it was cool. And it's a metal sign. It says director, has a movie reel, tape, and it's a metal sign.
Well, that's a great man cave item right there.
Right? For $2, I'm all in, man. So when I picked that, because I asked the lady, how much do you want for that? And she goes, $2. I'm like, yes. Yes.
Now, how big is your new man cave? Because before you were operating in the basement and you were fighting because you had kid toys in there, as fighting for space. Now, how big is your man cave now? You got enough room to operate?
My man cave is probably 10 times the size that it was. So my man cave is pretty big. Where I would say it's pretty much like, because I do have a first floor. This is the bottom floor, but the bottom floor is all redone, and it's the full bottom floor. I mean, it's like I made it into one huge room, so it's awesome. So, uh, yeah, and
That's
and
that's a lot of room for you to fill up because I know you don't have enough movies to fill up the man cave.
no, I need at least 10,000 more, at least. So we'll see, but I mean, I recommend yard sales. I mean, sometimes Goodwills, yard sales, garage sales, marketplace. Believe it or not, a lot of scores on there.
Yeah, they I look for when I go to marketplace. I've had some okay okay deals with trades or buy stuff from groups. I haven't really done that as of late. You know what it is? I'll be honest with you.
Sure.
It's really like before when the Dollar Tree was coming out there and we go to get movies for $1, man, I'm thinking that's the bomb.
Yeah.
And then they raised their prices to $1.25, and it's like that's still quite excellent for a brand new movie.
Sure.
But then the library happened. It went from they were charging $1.02 from their movie, so it was an even like for a while they were $1.
Yep.
And something the Blu-rays were actually $2. But then they knocked it down. They knocked it down to everything was a dime,
Yeah.
and that's been almost it's been over 2 years, and now it's gone. Now it's just a regular steady quarter, and it's like
That's awesome.
I go look at other people's like even yard sales or marketplace, and I'm looking and going like unless it's like specifically what I'm looking for, which for me is ISC movies, I'm just sitting there going like, yeah, that $1.75 looks good. But I know that it's not as good as the 25 cents I get.
Yeah.
I just can't pull the trigger.
I mean, you could. I know. I mean, and of course, I'm being very price conscious now with a lot of stuff. So I'm thrifting more than I've ever thrifted before if I'm looking for stuff. Um,
Mhm.
or believe it or not, Christmas is around the corner. My first thing is to make sure that I got Christmas covered for the kiddos, which I'm done already. I'm done, which is awesome. So, but yeah, I mean, look, collecting is, I almost feel like it's a job sometimes. I really do.
Well,
Because
especially turn around and have to put out content.
yeah,
But though everybody here does a really nice job at that. Showing off content, and I don't know any. I think the only ones that I'll tell you the truth. The only people that sort of get me, in a way, is the ones who push the movies out, but they don't pay for it. They don't
gotcha,
pay.
gotcha.
I don't mind a reviewer. If you get like I used to get serviced by Mill Creek and Warner Brothers, and Art Exploitation. Those were the big three that I used to get serviced by. But that was for review purposes. Like
Sure.
like I get them, I review them, I put them up there. But there's some now that there's some creators that get products sent to them.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, they don't review it. They push it. They try to say, "Oh man, check out this new movie. This has all these bells and whistles on it. It's only you can get this." They're shilling. They're not
I,
watching. They're shilling. They're pushing it out. And to me, it's sort of irresponsible. It's like you're bragging about the movie that you got, but you didn't pay for it. But you're out there telling people, "Yeah, yeah, you got to get this. You got to get this."
I'll tell you
I
this. I will agree with you and disagree at the same time. I don't get nothing, so I'll tell you that I don't get anything.
No, I know that.
I know some people that do,
Hmm.
and when they do, they actually do. The people I know do a review. They'll open it, they'll show you, they'll actually watch it, they'll actually show you the screen, which I like. If you do that, that's cool. If you show me, hey, I got this done, either two things are happening. One, it's going back on your shelf, or two, you're going to sell it. So people that do, and I'm going to throw props out here to one reviewer. I'm going to, and you know him, Dan, Reach F Films. He gets them, he opens them, he shows you them. He even does contests for the code to give out the codes. he does, and he's in depth. He'll talk about it. But I mean, there's some, like you said, that go out there, show it, and then it's done. But I will give him props. I've seen him get it and then do like a really deep review on it, which I like, because then it kind of wants you to either buy the movie, or I've seen him do reviews, Patrick, where it says the movie sucks, which I love.
Oh yeah, that happened. You know what though? I mean, it's like, man, that's the hardest thing. I just ran into this. Just check this out. This is interesting, and I'll give you my 2 cents.
Sure.
So I woke up today and I started promoting our little show here, and I caught on my Facebook page there was an actress, and she's coming out saying that this director is like trashing her, and they're feuding. It seemed like the guy had put out a movie with this actress, and someone wrote a review, and the review was terrible. They said the movie was garbage, except for the actress and that was had posting. The reviewer thought that she did a great job, but the rest of the movie was a car wreck. And so the director sitting there saying, you told her to write a bad review, you told her to trash it and this and that. And I'm just watching back and forth, and I'm like, this is interesting, except for, I'm going like, wow, who do you believe in something like that? And quite honestly, I believe the actress, because I do, because while I've had actors tell me about movies that they're in, I've been in this movie. Guess what? They never asked me to do. They'll tell me that they got a new movie coming out. They'll send me a clip. They'll send me a screener. But there's one thing that actors never do. They never ask for a review.
Yeah.
Never. They never ask for reviews.
Yeah.
Directors do.
They do. Yeah.
Directors will ask for reviews. I can't tell you. As a film director, hey, could you watch and review my film? Yeah, sure. If I had the time, actors never do. So you know who's bullshitting right there.
Yeah.
Now, thanks, Larry. Safe trip home. So yeah, that was really interesting watching that dynamic going back and forth and going like you're sitting there eating popcorn. But I know the actress. I know that she can be. I know that she can be a handful. I know her reputation. But I also know too that she's honest. She might not be the easiest person to work with, and I've heard that. I've had my own, my own bump with her a couple of years ago. But I also know that she's honest, and so she's sitting there going like, and I know and like I said before, like actors never ask for reviews. I don't, and believe me, I know actors. I have, and no one has ever come to me and said, hey, and they never, and for the most part, I mean, and I've never had a director come up to me and ask me to give them a good review. No director has ever asked me to sit there and say, hey, can you hook me up with a good review? Because I don't do that. I'll tell them and says, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I just reviewed a movie from a guy who's been on my show 3 times. And the last time he came on, he brought me some really. He brought a couple of stars with him for to talk about his movie. Well, I watched this movie, and it was just wasn't what I expected. It was very hard to watch.
Yeah.
But I did my review. I posted my review, and I was honest about it. And then I sit there and I hold my breath. Like, okay, I know, because I'm human, and I've talked to this guy, and we're friendly and everything else, and it's not my intention to hurt his feelings. I mean, if I sat there and I said, yeah, this is awesome, I wouldn't be doing him, or I wouldn't be his friend if I did that.
You want to be honest. You want to give a real review, because that'll help him in the future for his next one. So that, okay, I got a couple reviews saying that this was bad. Maybe I'll change something different when I move forward. So no, for sure. I mean, look, I put out videos. There's people that put out, I put out videos on stuff, and people will say to me, oh, hey, the music's too loud, or hey, you didn't put this up. I'm like, okay, that next time I'll register it. Next time I'll take my time and do it. Like one person told me the other day on one of my videos, you talk too fast. So I said, I appreciate the criticism. I will take it. I'll put it in the back of my brain. So next time I do a video, I'll slow it down.
Oh my God.
And he never
feel
said nothing after that.
you know what though, I feel like I feel that way too. I feel sometimes, like sometimes I feel like I talk too fast, and I actually have someone tell me that.
Mm,
Same with you. And I'm always looking for input. I'm always looking for feedback. If someone's watching any of my shows and they have anything to say that they feel could help me, I'm open to it. I've asked that. I've asked people, says, well, what do you think? How can I improve? What would you like to see?
yeah,
I've asked, and it's very hard to get actual feedback from people. Like you sit there and say, how did you think this interview? Rate this interview. How do you think it would? How do you think it did? I
yeah.
don't get anything. I get crickets. And it's just like it's like I really, really wish that you come back and comment on that. Like, tell me, because all you're gonna do is just gonna make me better. You
I like,
know,
yeah, I like criticism. I do like it. I welcome it, and reason to do it, it just makes me better. Thinking about. I mean, all criticism ain't great though. I mean, if you say something derogatory or whatever towards me, I'm gonna be like, oh, whatever. But you say, hey, maybe do this next time, and just like be nice about it. I'm all ears on it. Um, but what was I going to say? There's something else to say. Patrick, I'm going to have to jump soon only because I have to talk to my kiddos in a few. It's already
oh
past
gosh,
4.
yeah. We got a show in. We got a show in. We can.
So I do appreciate having me on. I'm going to jump and talk to my kiddos. I'm supposed to call them at 4, but it's okay. I'll call them in a few. But I do appreciate you having me on. I definitely love to be on again. I love chatting with you. I could probably chat with you all day, to be honest.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. We'll catch up once you get your schedule out a little bit more, and then
Sure.
we'll come back there and we'll do this again.
I
And
appreciate it.
by all means, next time we'll have you show some of your films that you got.
Absolutely. Of course. Of course. But absolutely. Thank you, Patrick, for having me, man. I really appreciate you.
All right. Thanks for hanging with us.
You got it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good day, chat.
Peace. All right. So that's our good friend Heroic Waffles. We'll be back at 8 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock our regular time with actress Zelly. Oh my God. I'm just gonna call her Zelly because I don't know how to say her last name. It's a Greek last name, and I don't want to massacre it, so I'm not gonna say her last name until she tells me how to say it. But we'll be here at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we'll also have director Jason Bork will be here. He is one of the most prolific directors I've ever talked with. He has made some sensational movies. He is actually making a horror film as we speak, and we'll try to get some information from him tomorrow, what we can. Um, and thank you guys for your support. I wouldn't be here without it. And drop a comment if you like. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. That would be really helpful for the channel. And of course, drop a comment down below. That helps the channel as well with those dreaded algorithms. All right, that's it for us, and we will talk at you soon. Peace. 8 o'clock.